Can you hear it? Can you hear the river behind me? We got a great show tonight. These bugs leave me alone. Welcome to What's Up Wednesday. This is episode, holy cow, what are we on now? Episode 129, 129 weeks, continuously bringing the What's Up Wednesday show to help you be a better RVer, whether you're no time, still researching part time, taking cool trips of days, weeks, or months, or even a full time traveler like myself. Howdy, my name is Scott. Thanks for joining tonight. We got a big show. We got a couple of cam setups here. We got the River Cam, we got the Lily Cam, and we've got the Scott Cam. It's going to be a fun show tonight. I got a lot on my mind over the um, last few months, really, and we're going to kind of bring all that to a head tonight and talk about time for change. We have our Libation Live and This Day in History, and we've got RV News headlines, and our song is Cattle Call. So that is what we're up to tonight. And announcing our first in-person event in some time. It's going to be July 2, very short notice. If you're in the Salt Lake City area, that is where you're going to want to go. We're going to give you the details on that. It's at the REI in Salt Lake City on this Saturday, July 2. Can you believe it's July already? Holy cow. Let's keep going. Love to take your questions. I see a lot of regulars in here. We're going to say hi to you here in just a few minutes. This is the format. If you're new to the program, howdy. Type in NEW. We'd like to give you a shout out whether you're watching the live stream or watching the rebroadcast. But this is the question format we'd like you to use, which is 3 stars, 3 question marks, and then your question helps me see it more readily. Fair enough? It would look like where is my cursor? All over the place tonight. This right there. That's what it would look like. So when we pull you up, that's what we're looking for. It is a little breezy out here, so I'm hoping it's not coming through all together in your ears or your eyes. What else we got? Yeah, let us know where you're watching from. If you don't see your country's flag on the map, then please be sure and give a shout out so that we can get that flag on the map. Libation Live, we're keeping it easy tonight. I got a little story behind why it's Coors. We're going to share that with you here in a little bit. The jingle jar. So if you are you support the channel a little bit and you give us a super chat, this is what it looks like. Just press the $ down by the text field and you'll see your options. You get to elevate your question, and every dollar matters. I'm serious as a heart attack. And when we get one of those, we do not shake the beer can, Scott. We jingle the jar. We jingle the jar. And if you're playing the jingle jar game, this comes from Roads to Life. They're going to be on the program in a couple months. If you're playing the jingle jar game, that means you have to have a sip of your libation. I'm holding off on mine for a few more minutes. So I sure do appreciate your help there. Where am I coming from? I'm in Helper, Utah. Yeah, where in the heck is that, right? It's by Price, Utah, which is a little bit bigger town. And I was here about almost 2 years ago. And this is a really cute little town. And this is where it is. I'm headed to Salt Lake, clearly for Saturday's Roundup at the REI. It's about an hour and a half, kind of south out of Salt Lake City there. It's a really cool area. I probably have a new favorite state, and that's Colorado. Because of, I don't know, the mountains, the rock formations, and everything. The rock formation here, what the red arrow is pointing at, is this is balanced rock, they call it. I think it actually is illuminated at night, but it's one giant rock on top of a skinnier rock. And we see all these kinds of things in this area. It's just the most amazing thing. Let's see if I can zoom in here for you just a little bit. Yeah, it's about the same. But it's really, really cool. Mountainous, an old mining town. I love this kind of town. This is the view out my van window. This is the view, the van window. So that's looking backwards into the campsite. It's really a delightful place. And the Wi-Fi is smoking hot, which is why I decided to come here for a couple days before I keep moseying on. Not a bad place to do video editing. That's the river behind me. And it's just a really cool spot, literally, because it's actually fairly cool. Now, it's in the upper 70s here. I'd say probably 75-ish. But this morning when I captured that, it was 61 degrees, and it gets in the low 50s overnight. So it's perfect weather. Don't need AC overnight, which is awesome. And gas prices in the area, just around $4. And if you want to buy a house in Helper, You actually don't have to spend a lot of money if you don't mind living in a tiny town with not tons to do in the immediate main street. For about 100 to 200 grand, you can buy a house here. And they're really working on the main street. I might share some of those pictures. I don't know. We'll see down the road. Let's see what else we got going on tonight. I just got a really important topic on my mind. Let's say howdy to a few folks, and we always like to do that. And then we'll get into a couple more things, including some of our guests. We have a Zoom announcement coming up, and then we'll get into our topic. So hang in there. Let's just say hi to some of our regulars. There's Mary Go Round. Great to see you, Mary, in Iowa. You must be getting work done on your van. Iowa Forest City is headquarters for Winnebago. Mr. Kurtz in the house. Good to see you, sir. There's Marie in the house. In South Dakota, I was going to say almost a little snowy. I'm like, holy cow, already. There's Ohio Sharon. Great to see you. More Van. They're going to be in the Badlands. Love the Badlands. Who hasn't been there, right? Talk about magic of erosion and the right chemistry underneath the water falling down through the erosion thing. Bill and Joe's in the house. Great to see you. There we go, Bill and Joe. Travel Dreamer in the house. Thank you. Joyce at the John Barton Quarry. Hi from Fremont, California. Sounds great. And here's Sherry. 79 degrees. Yeah, summer's arrived, right? Travel Dreamer, howdy. Detroit, Michigan. Jane and Roger, great to see you. They're going to be on in a couple of weeks on July 12th, sharing their story to South Dakota. There's Peggy Owens in Florida. Hot, me at 95. It's always summer in Florida, particularly southern Florida. Gary's in the house. Good to see you, sir. Orland Park, just down the street from Kankakee. There's Diane Swanson. Idaho. Man, I'm actually rolling into Southeast Idaho here in a short time. We're going to do a roundup in Boise at the REI, so stay tuned for that. Change, Roads of Life. We're going to be talking about some change tonight and change for you as well. Let's see, who else? Peggy, Sherry, Nomad Man. Nice to have you here. Continuing the trip up there in a week. Is it worth a long drive from Ohio? I'm not sure where you're headed, so hard to say. Rob's in the house. Good to get your text message the other day, sir. Minneapolis, 86. Doris, did we say hi to you already? From Massachusetts? I don't think so. Doris, good to see you. There's I almost said Alan Jackson. Allison Johnson, good to see you. Mount Airy, North Carolina, great to see you. There's M. Sorensen, good to see you. Oregon Coast. It's always cool on the Oregon coast, right? Is the sun out? Yeah, 6 days a week, or a year rather, right? 6 days a year. Alfred's in the house. We love Alfred. Pleasant temp there. Gas about $4.50. Song of the week. Yeah, that would have been a good one, but nope, not that one. Doris, who else we got? Moon. What is this? Moonshine's Dream. I like you already. Hope all's well. It's great you're living a life worth living. Much love from Nashville. KOA. If that's the one that's kind of close to town, by the Grand Ole Opry, that's an amazing place. One of my favorite KOAs ever. They have so much going on. Not cheap, but it's so amazing. Well, thank you, Moonshine's Dream. You are amazing too. Neil and Britt in the house. We love those two. Mason Mike, he said he was headed up to see 94 degrees. He was headed to cooler weather. Well, I guess 94 is cooler than 105. Y'all should be in Helper, Utah. It's really pleasant here. Brianne's in the house. Good to see you. Tampa, one of my favorite places. Rebecca, hanging out. Good to see you. You say hi already? Did I get everybody? Mason Mike's in the house. Neil and Britt, Los Alamos. Live free in a van. Good to see you. I now live full time in my Storyteller Overland. We've got some videos coming up about that. I did change something about my van life. Now living full time, loving every minute. Congratulations, live free in a van. It changes your life, doesn't it? You don't have to go full time. There's no glory in full time travel. Just how I choose to do it because there's so many things to see, do, taste, and people to meet. All right, let's keep going. I probably missed a few of you. I apologize. Here's Tommy. Here's Jolene from Hawaii. Aloha. Mark Goodson. Bought the tires. Good job, sir. Kellyanne from Boston. Tim from Quad Cities. Illinois, right? Oh, goodness. Marie Sanchez. Hot and humid in Lincoln, Nebraska. Yeah, I bet. More, we said hello, Moonshine. J and G. Howdy. Jack and Gail from North Carolina. Great to have you here joining us tonight. So this is a great example. So Kellyanne is using the correct um, um, question format. Sorry, got a little distracted. Let's go like this. Question is, should I sell my Solus 2023 National Park Foundation? I'm feeling overwhelmed with changes. I would make a list of pros and cons of what's make you feel overwhelmed. We're going to talk about this tonight because sometimes it's the right thing to do, sometimes it's the wrong thing to do. I'm not going to give you any advice. Really think this through. Make a list, pros and cons of keeping the vans, selling the vans, and I would make a big list of what is keeping you from feeling overwhelmed. Because you got a brand new rig, and if it's because there's some things that need to be tweaked there, that's kind of the deal for the first few go arounds. So sorry to hear that, but that would be my advice. What other advice would y'all help Kellyanne here? Clearly having a little stress, and we want to help her out there. Feel free to chat amongst yourselves. Frank Black, glad to have you here from ORK. Merck from ORK. Is that like, what was that show? Mork and Mindy? I don't know what that is. All right, let's kind of get into the rest of this. We want to give a shout out to Chris and Sandy. We are now up to over 200 members on the Go Small Live, really Class B RV community page on Facebook. If you want to be part of that group and discussion, simply go to facebook.com, search Go Small Live Large. We pull up pretty readily and join the community conversation there. For the Patreon True Believers, this coming, well, I guess a week from Saturday, we've got our first July Zoom call. So Patreon's one way to raise funds for the channel to do sort of full-time living. I'm going to share some numbers with you tonight that you will maybe be surprised by or not. But this is real. If you really want to dig in deep, make some van friends. A lot of them now are like Mason, Mike, and Neil and Britt hanging out together doing stuff without me, which is totally cool. But anyway, to Zoom, True Believers Zoom on Saturday, July 8th, 5 p.m. Central. Just go to patreon.com/Go Small Live Large to get all the details there. Guests. So again, we mentioned Roger and Jane coming on to tell us about their trip in their Travato GL to South Dakota and back to Illinois. And then Steve Hood is coming up on July 19, a week later. 25 national parks in 60 days. I can't even imagine. Then we get Mick Franklin, from my home dealer, Winnebago Motorhomes in Rockford, Illinois. He's coming on. We're going to talk about RV maintenance and some tips to help you save a few bucks and not stress yourself. And then we got Rob, Roads of Life, celebrating his retirement. He's an Embassy RV owner coming up in August. We are already getting a bunch of guests lined up for the second half of the year. So you don't want to miss a single show. Mark it in your calendars. Embassy RV, going to come on Friday, July 21. Talk about some very different things about Embassy RV. We really love talking about those guys, and we're actually going to work really hard to get me in an Embassy RV this fall. Not for ice fishing, so please, no ice in October, but we've got some really great ideas, and even in September, actually. So I'm very excited about that. In-person events. So take a screenshot of this with your phone. This is also on my website. So we got a roundup this July 2nd, Salt Lake City at the REI, followed by a roundup in Boise, Idaho at the REI, July 15. And we're doing another one in Spokane, Washington. If you want to go to my website, gosmalllivelarge.com, you can see those. There's no Eventbrite, just show up. If I'm the only one there, that's okay too. And then we got some bigger camp out events later in the year. You've seen those probably already. But this one we're going to give a shout out to Josh and Zach. This is going to be such a great time. Look at this. We've got 4 rows and more to ourselves. It's going to be a great time. Embassy RV, I'm happy to announce, is sponsoring the Vanlife event, or Vantopia, I should say, Florida, as is Sunshine State RVs. But we just want to give a big shout out to Embassy RV. That's a great place to come meet the owners and bring your rig. Yeah, it'd be good to give a thumb up. I got 15 minutes already. So if you want to share your van trip or story, here's how you do it. We'd just love to hear from you, right? Because this is really about us, not so much about me. But if you're willing to tell us your van success story or your trip, there's a form on my website, or this is the email address. You'll want to do that. And please kind of limit it to that. I get a lot of technical support and stuff, questions in there, and it's really tough for me to keep up on all this. So if you can help me out there to help you, that'd be great. Let's see what else we got. Time for a change. So let me see if I can get into this content tonight, and let me just give a quick peek for some others. Let's check on the van. How's it doing? Have you stealing my phone yet? Nope. I'm telling you, the sunrise and the sunset here is absolutely amazing. I would much prefer to look at rocks, as it turns out, versus looking at water. Now, if there's water under the rocks, even better. But isn't that beautiful? And it's really starting to cool down. It's so awesome. All right, so let's just say hi to a few more folks, then we're going to get into our content right away. We're going to leave off. Just don't want to miss anybody out. So again, Kellyanne, if you can help out, Kellyanne, just make you feel overwhelmed, that'd be great to know. Wow, congratulations, Marie. Picked up our brand new 59K in the Midwest and living in it full time, not missing home. Isn't that great? Let's see. No plants to plant, no plants to water, no grass to mow. Right? I'm so proud of you. It's so awesome. Let us know, Marie, where your trajectory is. That would be super great. Yeah, congrats for sure. Beaming Life Travels. Good morning, all from Australia in the house. It's a chilly morning in our winter, 5.3 degrees Celsius. Oh, thank you for doing the only country in the world that still uses the old Fahrenheit thing. 41 degrees. I know 0 Celsius is freezing, right? Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Good morning, Beaming Life Travels. Let's see who else in here. Aaron Thor. Not too late. This is one for you, just because you asked. Aaron, what's up? Good to see you. Am I too late for the? Never too late for that. Whew, okay, we're caught up on that. So let me get into our content tonight, because this has been on my mind for some time. Here's the topics I want to cover with you. Number one, change is good. If you aren't willing to change throughout the course of your life, I think you got to, well, I don't want to judge anybody. I'm trying to work on that. Change is good. And what I want to talk about is van change, lifestyle change, attitude change, and then logging the change. Fair enough? Now, I'm not so much the sage on the stage, but I am a benevolent dictator. So this is really about you. So we look at 2023, the year is half over. 2023 is half over. So consider the changes you've made this year. We've already seen a number of you getting your vans, getting in them, and traveling in them. Some even full time. Again, no Academy Awards for that, but congratulations. What changes do you have yet to make in 2023? Are you keeping a journal of changes you've made, goals, New Year's resolutions, changes you want to make? Do you have an accountability buddy? It could be your spouse, often the worst one. Somebody that you're close to but isn't your spouse. And how are you logging your success? How are you journaling about this? And I think one of the greatest things to look back on is the success you've made. All right. Now, unfortunately, I didn't update this. Question that I put out on the survey today, which is what type, let me zoom in for you. What type of change are you committed to completing in 2003? I will tell you that before I went live with the show, that I peaked, although I didn't take a screenshot, and I'm happy to say increased my life experiences through van travel was leading, followed by better health and fitness. Interesting, financial fitness was the least. So a positive attitude and improvements to the camper van, don't grab the wrong thing, there we go, is kind of a tie. So sorry about getting the right screenshot on there. So, okay, let's keep rolling. So here's what I want to share with you. Change is good. And let's talk about the van. Because the van experience, maybe this is what the one lady was having concern about, is stuff. Stuff in our vans is probably the biggest a fence, getting on the road. I have a rule: one in, one out. So if I'm buying a t-shirt, I have to throw one away. And when I'm purchasing something for the van, gear, this is my checklist: one in, one out. And the questions I ask myself are: what is gained by this new item? Is this emotion or function that is taking hold of me? Does it have, ideally, a dual use? And is it creating a memory for me? So that is what I want to go through with you. Again, I've made some really big changes in this space in the last 45 days, 60 days for sure. Here's some examples. You ready? So again, rule: one in, one out. What's gained, emotion or function, dual use, and is it creating a memory? So I have to give credit here to Justin, who made a big change in a van. He determined that an Echo was a better way for him to roll with his big old beautiful dog than a Travado. So they made a big change. But when I was in his Travado, we were gallivanting around. I can't remember where it was, Los Alamos someplace. I looked up and he had really nicely organized storage bins above his cab. Let me zoom in here for you. And I'm like, that's really cool. Tell me about those. And he did. He shared the link with me. And what I had up there, consuming the entire space nearly, was the puzzle bed cushion. I've been carrying that thing around for 5 years. I haven't used it in 2 years. I used it maybe 5 times. So I was inspired by Justin to get rid of my puzzle bed cushion. I boxed it up, I shipped it to home base, and I bought these stacking plastic bins. And why it's so important is I have What's Up Wednesday Studio in the very rightmost box. I've got other gear going across, very organized, and dual purpose. So what I mean by that is when I'm doing my show, my laptop and my iPad are sitting on those same bins, dual use. I cannot tell you what a game changer that was. And so obvious, right? Next thing I'm going to share with you. Again, change. We can't change the furniture in our vans, but we can change our interior design a little bit. So I've had in my van cupboard doors, the upper cabinet doors, Van Gogh designs, Apollo flight maps, all this stuff. And it was kind of time for a change. I took them all off. I saved them. I haven't put them back up yet. I'm really kind of enjoying the uncluttered look. So, what kind of changes can you consider in your van? Now, this one's really kind of funny. This one comes from my Sprinter 4x4 adventure van going to the Embassy RV event. And what you're looking at here is, see the green arrow? That is now a suction cup thing to my window with a magnetic phone holder versus what I used to have, which was, where the red arrows pointed out, is a holder that fits in the vent, which was always a pain in the rear for me. And I discovered this. This is one of the keys of change, is being open to changing something, seeing if it works. I actually bought the magnetic one at a rest stop because the Mercedes Sprinter vent would not accommodate the phone holder that I had in my ProMaster. And I cannot tell you what a difference it's made with so much less frustration. I've completely reworked the way I power it. If I want to take a picture of something, even doing some of the vlog style stuff, I just pick it up versus all this fussing about it. Something as simple as a $20 phone holder. What a game changer, right? Got one more to share with you. This was a big one too. Not super huge, but what you're looking at is the backpack on the left. It was the best backpack I had found to date. It's my number one tool other than my iPad that I use and love the most in the van because it allows me to take my stuff and get out of the van. You travel outside your van. That's kind of the whole point of the van. I bought that left backpack in Italy during our cruise last fall. I can't remember where in Italy. That's a great backpack, but I'm always looking for what is the next best thing based on my criteria. Dual functionality, better functionality, is it emotion or function? And I got to tell you, this one on the right, I have a video coming up about this. I discovered at the Denver airport, flying to the Embassy RV event, Topo Designs designed in Colorado. It's the best backpack I've ever used, and I've been through at least a dozen backpacks in my 5 years on the road. And we're going to do a video about this again. I can't tell you what a game changer it was. So, all that being said, one in, one out is the rule. What is being gained? Carefully think that through and then decide, is it emotion or function? Now, there's where your spouse might come in handy. Does it have dual use? And or does it create a memory? I've been buying a lot of stickers lately and putting them in my sticker book because I'm not putting them in my van as readily as much anymore. All right. So what questions do you have on that? What comments? Let me go a few more here because this is getting more serious as we go. But still, pretty good stuff, right? I don't know. I'm pretty excited about it. This display screen keeps dimming on me. Okay, let's go this way. Let's check on the van. Is it still there? Yep, my phone's still there. Oh, the light on the canyon is changing. Can you see that? Oh, it's hard to pick up there. You can see the light changing on the river a little bit. All right, back to the topic here. Change is good. Lifestyle. Let's talk about this. And some of you did this in real time with me in the last 6 weeks. I mean, it's amazing how fast this stuff goes. All right, here we go. Ready? Lifestyle. So I was camping with some of the band friends. We were headed to Los Alamos with Brittany and Neil and Marie and Chris and Sandy and Justin and Bernie. And we had a grand old time. I wanted to go to this thing called the Bandelier National Monument. What the hell is that? I had no clue. Some people went one direction. Marie and, well, I'll keep going. So I looked it up, right? I'm like, what on earth is this? So the next morning we got up and we decided we were going to go check this out. I am not a hiker. I never have been a hiker. You know, I'm the urban cowboy. Let's go look at history, architecture, find the saloon, right? And edit videos. And what happened is we went on this hike. So I'll zoom in here for you. This is Sandy scurrying up the ladder, looking out the same cave that photograph was taken from, right? And there's me in the cave doing a selfie. You can see the reflection of my eyes. Or the glasses. What you're looking at behind my head is where the soot from the people that lived in these caves was from their campfires. And what happened is, because we kind of got together, thought this was cool, and decided to go, that's a big aha, just deciding, which in the Latin root means to cut off from, we decided to go. And I got to tell you, I had the best time. And what I learned is from these three individuals, Marie, Sandy, and Chris, is that they hike a lot. They have the right gear. They've got the books. They've got the apps. They've got the big smiles. I'm super inspired. So change, right? I tried to do this in my hiking boot or my cowboy boots. It's really not great. I tried to do this in my cheap old sneakers. That wasn't great either. So what we did when Sandy and Chris and I got to the Denver area, I said, hey, I ran into him by complete accident, Vanlife miracle, at the Buffalo Bill grave. You'll see that in the video coming up. I said, I'm going to go buy some hiking gear because I have zero. And I want to do more hiking. Good for you. Get connected with nature. Put on some miles. Take off the weight. And I'm going shopping. You guys want to go? We went shopping. We walked from one end of downtown Denver to the other. This was the beginning of it. And we went shoe shopping. They helped me with some shoes. I did a little bit of research. They helped me with socks and shoes. And now I'm happy to say that I've got new shoes. The ones on the left is the ones we bought with Sandy and Chris. And the ones on the right are the ones I bought on my own. And what's the rule? One in, one out. I donated a pair of cowboy boots to Goodwill. I skipped my most expensive pair of cowboy boots I wore maybe once a month to home base with a whole bunch of cowboy shirts because I got new attire, including this, hiking gear. I can't tell you how much better this is for even sitting out here. So change, inspired by others. So much of my change has been inspired by many of you. I'm telling you, right? And now I'm out hiking around. This is Garden of the Gods, and it was pretty amazing. I can't tell you what a happy camper I am. I'm going on this big hike tomorrow in the morning, and again, just what a change. I'm so excited. Okay, you want to do attitude first, or should we look for some questions? How are we doing on time? Ah, Lord have mercy. Let's. I saw a super chat come in. Let's give that some honor. Right here, live free. There you go. Super sticker. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Live free in a van, or is it a man? I'm sorry if I'm not sure exactly. Uh, let me get all fired up. Okay, just because it's that time. It's the end of the hour, bottom of the hour. Ooh, nothing like warm beer. I do appreciate cold beer. All right, thank you. Live free in a van. Appreciate it. Every dollar matters a tremendous amount. Let's see. Let me keep going. Let me keep going. Let me look up here. Let me get through a little bit more of this. So, um, then we'll pause again. So, change is good, right? Attitude. If you've been with me over the last couple of months, I think really since the Lukenbach Van Brie, Texas thing, I've been complaining quite loudly about YouTube. But you know what? Who's in control of me? Who's in control of you? Well, that would be I'm in control of me. I'm not in control of YouTube. I'm in control of what content I put out, the frequency, and how much it resonates with people. Now, what I'm happy to say is that while I was venting very loudly, and kind of rightfully so, what's happened is I made some changes, some pretty drastic changes. And that started with thinking through my video production schedule. I hadn't really done that before in a meaningful way. So now I've got about 3 months worth of video production. Let me zoom in here for you. This is a sneak peek behind the curtains. This is what has to happen on what day to keep my video. This is the production of the video. So the camera is to record, the scissors is to edit, and if there's a finish flag, that means it's ready to go. This is the post schedule. So I've got this down to the week and day in many cases. Little finish flag there. And what this has allowed me to do is to relax, get ahead of the 8 ball. And now I'm really happy to say that I have upped my game considerably. And thanks again to Chris and Sandy for helping me think this through. This is why so many of you that I've met in person know how important you are to me. And those that we haven't met, you're so important to me because you drive this whole thing forward. And this whole conversation is about change. We're going to talk about your change in a minute. But what I've done now is I am creating 3 videos a week plus this program. So we do a news program on Tuesday morning. We do What's Up Wednesday. Hello. I do a tour or a product video on Thursday. And Chris and Sandy's suggestion was do a place video on Sunday where people are kind of lingering around, drinking coffee and, either getting ready for church or they're just kind of lounging around, right? Kind of inspiration stuff. So that is the schedule I have started. We're on, I'm happy to say, I think I'm on almost 6 weeks of doing this now. So just over 30 days. And what I'm going to show you something that's confidential. So don't tell anybody about this, but this goes back to talking about creating action and then logging the action. Are you ready for this? Howdy. What I'm going to show you here is that in the last 30 days, I have 100% turned my situation around YouTube-wise. So if you look at the last, or the black arrow on the left, this is just in the last 30 days. I've had 292,000 views, 1,000 subscribers have been added to the channel. Watch time hours, 32,000 hours. And I'm really happy to say that the income, which was bouncing around 11 or 1,000 to about $1,200 a month, is now $3,000 coming in from YouTube over the last 30 days. That's the 30-day cycle. Change. Create a plan, take action, measure the results. But wait, it gets better. Now, to put this in perspective, to think you're not, to let you know that I'm not really getting rich off YouTube. I monetized my channel in May 2020, right in COVID. So 3 years later, I made a grand total of 54 grand off of YouTube. Right? Try living on 54 grand for 3 years. It's a means to an end. You're part of that. So I am no math major. I travel full time in a van. Rob, Roads of Life, I need your help here. Make sure I got this right. So I was just kind of curious, how much am I making on an hourly basis from YouTube? It's not to feel sorry or happy for me. I'm just curious, right? So I have uploaded to YouTube since the start of the channel 610 videos on a very conservative basis. It's really more like 10 hours per video, but I'm being super conservative, 5 hours to edit and all that business. So over 3,000 hours over those 3 years, 54 grand divided by those number of hours. I'm making what a teenager in Seattle makes working at McDonald's. Pretty awesome, right? So I hope I got the math right. Somebody will correct me if I'm not, I'm sure. But you know what? It's brought me everything I've got. My freedom, I've got you, I've got two amazing brands I work with, and none of that would be possible without the platform of YouTube. So my hat is off to YouTube. For a Gmail address and an iPhone, you're in the broadcasting business. Unfortunately, we've gotten a little better at this over the years. Okay, let's round this out with talking about the last thing I want to talk about, and that is logging the change. What good is trying to change if you can't measure it, right? Now, we talked about the YouTube thing. And that's my dashboard for the channel business growth, up or down. But a year ago, I had this going on, and many of you will remember that I was nearly at 180 pounds, 178 to 180 pounds routinely. I had a gut. It was gross, a little flabby. Made some big changes last June. And I'm happy to report out that those changes have stuck with me because I measure it. I log it. This is every morning I weigh myself on my biometric scale. It sits under my bed cushion, my bed mattress. And this is my weight. You can look at it. It's graphed. I use the Apple Health app. So this is 1 month. I see a trend. If I'm trending up, I make change. It goes down. You see the body fat percentage. They're driving down dramatically. What I discovered by measuring, logging, setting goals, making change, adhering to it is if I eat carbs past 6 p.m., I see it literally on the scale the next morning. And this, by the way, I measure myself after I use the restroom, number 1 and 2. So that has evacuated the body, but somehow my body metabolism retains this, and I can actually see it the next morning. Whew. So, year 2023, what changes have you made? Still got half a year to go. What changes are you willing to make? How are you holding yourself accountable? Is it a person, a tool, an app? And are you tracking success? I have never been more happy in the last 30 days and really last 60 days because all this has been percolating in my brain. Many of you helped me decipher and distill and make those changes with me. I'm telling you, this stuff is powerful. One more little thing, then we'll answer some questions. I need to go back to this. My channel was famous for using the measuring tape to kind of get a sense of size, space, relative to object or whatever in the space, right? But we've used this, I'm sorry I don't have my tape measure with me, I meant to bring it out, we've talked, it's been over a year ago. So here's the deal tonight. Here's your homework. In addition to this is where you sit down with yourself or your spouse, or spouses do it separately and then come together and compare lists. Either way, get a measuring tape out tonight, roll it out to where you think you're going to be in terms of age. So if you're going to live to 80, roll that bad boy out to 80. And then what age are you at now? 60? I'm almost 60. So I'm hoping to get to 75. I'm actually happy with 72 because I want a full life. I don't want to decay. So I roll mine out to, so it'll be generous, 75. The last 5 years of your life, health-wise, probably not awesome, right? And I've seen some RVers that shouldn't really be RVing, although they're doing it. My thumb is up to them, or to them. So again, if you're 60, you're gonna live to 75. You really only have 10 functional years left. What are you waiting for? What changes are you willing to make? What sacrifices are you willing to put up with, maybe financially, to get on the road? Um, that's my question for you. And I'm telling you, thanks to so many of you in this audience for helping me the last 60 days make these changes. The Embassy RV Campout, our getting together, and Luke and Bob, all of that has been coming to roost. And now I'm seeing the fruits of the effort because I was listening, willing to change, applying action, and woohoo, right? Pretty amazing. And that is my quest for you tonight. Today is half the year, excuse me, still to go. What changes have you made? Success. What changes are you committed to making? How are you holding yourself accountable? And how are you tracking your success? I'm a happy camper. I've never been so more at ease in my 5 years of doing this than I am right now. I'm serious as a heart attack. It feels like I'm just getting started. Um, yeah, we don't need that on there right now. This is so weird. This came up today. All right. So with that, let's kind of look at. Yeah, if you're having fun, do this. Give us a thumb up. Okay, let's check the van. Make sure Lily's still there. Nobody stole my phone. Nope, still there. How's the river doing? Any fish? Any bears? Nothing behind me. Okay, very good. So let's look at some of the comments here. And Roads of Life keeps a family journal. We send out every year. That's everything we did last year. That's super cool and very inspiring. Good for you. Make sure I didn't miss anything up here. Hope you can hear this river behind me. Probably not, but it's just one of the most. It quiets down overnight, and with the windows open, with the traffic. There's a U.S. highway, not an interstate, but a highway. In the middle of the night, it quiets down. You can actually hear the river from the van. It's pretty great. So Peggy Owens, example, Instapot never used. Maybe we'll on longer trips. I carry one for almost 2 years. I don't even was rice in it. I decided I could buy rice pre-made and get rid of that thing, right? So good for you. Merry-go-round, getting puzzle cushions, great, but what if you don't have a home base? You probably have a relative or something that you could probably ship that to, Mary. That's what I'd recommend. It really wasn't that expensive. Either shipping the cowboy boots and the clothes or the cushion. I just bring a big sack to the UPS store, and they put it in a box for me, and they ship it as slow as possible. And that is just get it out of the van, donate it. Now, nobody wants a puzzle bed cushion, probably. So if you want to resell your van at some point, you probably want that. So I'd send that to a relative, something like that. Yeah, this was just a game changer. I can't believe what a deal it is. I don't put up my window shades hardly ever. So if I need to take it down, you just take it down, put it back up in the morning. Bill, got a question. Are there any ways to accommodate a second adult in a Toronto GL other than finding an older one with a puzzle bed? Mesa Mike, what's your answer to that? Snuggle up in the bed and put a really thick yoga mat down the middle. Don't step on in the middle of the night when you get up to go pee. That's kind of the problem with the current floor plan in the GL. You can travel 4, but sleep 1, maybe 2. Now, if you're bringing a grandkid along, there's an inflatable mattress that sits in the cab. They'll be honking the horn all night as they toss and turn. Great for an 8-year-old, but a 48-year-old, I don't think it's possible. So I don't know how you GL anybody. What was it, 2022 and newer? Good question. How about Bill? Asa Mike. He shimmies his teensy girlfriend in his. I don't know. His dog stays underneath. Good one. I don't have a good answer. Whoops. Kellyanne, any issues with your ProMaster? Generally, no. I had a cylinder head go out at 49,000 miles. I had the serpentine belt, which is kind of weird, right? The cylinder head. The serpentine belt went out at 105-ish thousand miles. That's a maintenance thing. I didn't get it. Should have done that earlier. I'm on my third set of brakes, third set of K02 tires. Really, no. Transmission, I'm very gentle with it. I mean, I'm the slowest thing on the road. I'm worried about gas mileage, being gentle on it. I'm in no hurry. So it's just been the best platform. I've had so few problems with anything in the van. Maybe I'm the lucky one. I don't know. Let's see. Love the cams. Yeah, right. That's kind of funny. I actually put a note on my this cam hanging out of the tree so nobody would be like, "What the hell is this?" Nobody's stolen it yet. And if they did, I would run after them because I've got my new hiking shoes on. All right, let's keep going. A few more, and how are we doing on time? Oh my gosh, let's see. Thai food, I love it. Love Thai food too. I'm craving Vietnamese actually. Let's see. No way. Jim Miller, Thailand. I'm craving Thailand. Let's give a shout out to Jim Miller. What time is it? Ooh, in Thailand. Thailand. My favorite. What's your favorite Thai food? Mine is probably the chicken satay with the peanut butter sauce, and we call it swimming ramen from the old Chicago Seattle days. Swimming ramen. It's a chicken satay with a peanut sauce on it. And then what's the soup with the coconut and the spice and the shrimp in it? I actually don't like coconut a whole lot, but that is pretty good. Thank you, sir, for joining us from Thailand. We'll put that on the map for sure. Somebody remind me about that. Rubik on is the Salt Lake City Roundup on Saturday morning or Sunday morning? It's on July 2. Did I screw up the date? It's this Saturday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. at the REI. I think I have that on my website as well. But it's this Saturday, not Sunday. That is 100%. I might have the date wrong. I don't think so. But Saturday morning, this Saturday, Salt Lake City, REI, 10 o'clock a.m. And if nobody's there by 10:30, I'm got other things to do. And it's okay. I've been to many of these around the only guy that shows up, and that's fine. Bill and Joe, look at this. Woo! Thank you, gentlemen. These guys, thank you. Bill and Joe, you are the most amazing. These guys were hanging around us for, I don't know, quite a few months. Harvest Host, they rented a van to go to the Vantopia thing in February. They pulled the trigger. Just recently, they have a Coach from Beyond, LI3, beautiful machine from Sunshine State RVs. And I am so proud of you both for taking action. So proud of you. Alfred. I keep grabbing the beard thing. Thank you, Alfred. I appreciate it. Alfred's a great guy. Ran into him at the Roundup in Rancho Cucamonga, I think, right? And he bought me my mine tour in Bisbee. He's a super great guy. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Let's see. So I got it right. $17 an hour. I'm pretty proud of myself, right? Now, would I rather be doing this or flipping burgers at the McDonald's for $17 an hour in Seattle? I'd rather be doing this. No doubt about it. Allison Johnson, thank you so much for your super sticker. Jingle and jar. Everybody has some sip if you're doing the game. Oh my gosh, you gotta hurry. We got a few more things to cover. Let's see. Let me just do a quick perusal here, looking for the question format that helps. How far? Why are you saying you only live to 75? I hope you're not sick. No serious things. I just would rather not fall apart at the end of my life. I would rather have burnout versus fall apart. Really strong life, full 70, 72 years, and then, I'm okay with whatever God decides for me, but I'm planting a seed. I don't want to decay like many of my family members. And it's just, to me, that's not pleasant sitting in an easy chair waiting to die. I want to have a full life. You know, Clearly I'm not in charge of the expiration date, but I'm okay. Assuming I put in a full life in 70 years, right? I got 10, 12, 15 years left. I'm totally fine with that. I have this kind of morbid phrase. I'm terrified of death, but I can't wait to die. Because it reminds me, in fact, I walked through a cemetery today. I spent about a half hour walking. It's the dash between your birth date and your death date. That's what matters. So I'd rather have a full life and not wait for organisms to catch up with me. I have a crappy last 5 years quality of life. Just planting the seed for myself. And Roads of Life says, "What has been the best change you have had? What has been the best change you have in the last 3 years? What has been the most difficult change you've had to make?" He always has profound questions. Roads of Life. Best change is I created a plan, I took action, and we're all manifesting that today. That's the best change. I left corporate America in 2021. I managed to replace my income, not rich by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm having a ball, living my dream, a sign in my van. The most difficult change is having to make some of these changes we talked about tonight. And I think being willing to do an introspective on self. Thank you. Putting the dog poop in the garbage can. Good job, sir. And be willing to change. And I look at things in my van and I look at things when I go to the store. It goes back to the one in, one out rule. I bought this awesome t-shirt today with Jimmy Dean on it because I want to support the artist. But I kept thinking, is this cooler than anything else I have in the van? What's the least cool t-shirt I have? I have a red one with a big stain on it. I'm like, out it goes. I'll spend $25 for this t-shirt. You'll see it soon. It's amazing. So it's those kind of things, being willing to change and being humble. I think those are things. Great point. Okay, so how we doing? Oh my gosh. So let me. We got a premiere tomorrow morning. So we're gonna roll this forward. We have an Embassy RV owner. Again, this is the new schedule. Chris and Sandy helped me understand they don't know when I post videos. So here we go. We're gonna try this out, right? I'm through until like September. We'll see how this goes. This one was Albuquerque. Didn't perform well, but great video. Many of you have said. This is premiering tomorrow morning. Excuse me, Tom Forrester. He's an Embassy RV owner. Gives an amazing van tour of his Embassy RV. And this one is posting on Sunday morning, my travel day from Elkhart back to Chicago, turning in the van. And there'll be a lightweight van tour. All right, let's talk Libation Live. Clearly, I'm having a Coors, which is now an hour and a half old, warm. Here's what's cool. Correct me if I'm wrong. And that is when you visit someplace, you may have been drinking it for a long time or never before. You visit. After you see how it's made, you're meeting the people, you're talking to staff, you get to see the gift shop. I'm telling you, there's just something about. I'm a Banquet fan now. I kind of was anyway. I love the bottles. Can't do bottles in the van, so I do cans because they fit in the fridge, and then I put in a glass, a Luckenbach glass. But they've been making Banquet for 150 years. And to visit the town of Golden, if you have not been to Golden, Colorado, you have no idea what you're missing. It's urban camping friendly. One for the crowd. And Coors. Love it. It's so fun. Okay, this day in history, we always like to talk about that in the context of Libation Live while everybody sips. It's kind of a light news day, I have to say, over history. Although this was kind of a big thing. So 54 years ago, 1969, on this day, the Stonewall riots began in New York City, making the start of the gay rights movement. And 153 years ago, the U.S. Congress established the first federal holidays: New Year's Day, July 4, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. So that's kind of what was the news of the day over this day in history. So we have a few more questions. But I was going to share last week, but didn't because we ran out of time with Nick from the GM of Cushman RV on the Forest River Division, or the B-Van Division. Is it 20 years ago, last week, Wednesday, Wikipedia came on the scene 20 years ago. And it's kind of World Book Encyclopedia. Anybody even know what that is anymore? What was the other one? Funkin' Wagnalls? Wasn't that one? Technology. I love it or hate it. It changes everything. All right, let's look for a few more questions here. Let's get that off the screen. We'll check on the van. It's so beautiful. The moon's coming up. And there's so many great hikes. I'm going to do this hike tomorrow. I think I told you. And there's been so much rain in the area and in Colorado that everything's just green. Everybody's like, wow, the rivers are really going fast. It's so amazing. All right. Let's take one more peek and then we'll do song of the night. We got to do RV news headlines too. So here's some question or answers on the 59 or the bed situation on 59 cubic sheepskin. Oh, that might sound familiar to Chris and Sandy in the Isle bedroom. Grandkids. Great idea. Here's Neil and Britt. They used to have, well, I still have a Geo. Um, so there you go. Kathmandu. I did receive a FCA recall letter regarding some parking mechanism on the ProMass transmission. Reluctant to take it into the shortages. I would call around. It's FCA, I think it's Fiat Corporation of America. I just can't tell you how much. There's been two Vanlife miracles. When my serpentine belt went out, big dealer in downtown Houston, and a great dealer, well, it's an RV dealer in Claims at Fort Worth when I got rear-ended in the car crash. But I've had the best luck with small town dealers. I've been trying to get my headlight replaced, the lamp, for almost 3 weeks now. And the big guys, they're like, we'll take it. It's going to cost you, $300 and we need it for a day. And the first appointment available is 2 weeks out. I'm like, I'm looking for a van life miracle, man. That's my house you're looking at. Can you help me out? Can I show up at 8? No. Rolled into Price, Utah. I said, here's the deal. There's the van. I just need a headlamp. He's like, if you're willing to wait today, we can do it for you. I'm like, I know I'll do it today. Other stuff going on. I'm making an appointment for Thursday, so I'm rolling in tomorrow. It's $100. And they said it'd take 15, 20 minutes, a half hour maybe. They're going to charge me half hour labor. I'm like, fine. So, point being, small town dealers are just so much more. If you're willing to go where they are, somewhere. If I've received that, it's so funny, right? The U.S. mail, always reliable. At a home mailbox where I never am. Kyle thinks it's junk mail. But the security of the U.S. mail is such that all the important stuff gets put in the mail. Versus just sending an email, which we all would look at, or even text. I just, some changes need to be made. How are we doing tonight? You guys having fun, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah, using the van to visit people I haven't seen in a long time. And then you get to stay in your van. Might plug into their house electrically, right? But you get to stay in your own van. It's one of the greatest things. Yeah, Bill Sprague. There's some, when I go to a bar, I get the bottle. Otherwise, I'm doing a Coors Light draft. That's what it was on draft. But Coors Banquet bottle, or something about that bottle to me. I kind of got started on it. My dad used to drink it a lot. And then Yellowstone, the TV program, got me thinking about it. And there's just something about that bottle. It's so retro. Roads of Life, I'm not sure what you're talking about here. Silver Freedom's 1-year anniversary. Is that your van? Is that your Embassy RV? Is that news? If that is, it certainly is. The bigger news is when you're getting your freedom, sir. And that's coming up not that far away. How do I send you change? I'm not sure what you mean. You have to clarify. I'm not sure what you mean. All right, let's do RV news headlines quick. If you haven't seen this, this is a weekly thing. Very short, very to the point. And I think it's just important because we're in the RV industry. We're part of it, like it or not, right? So this is the headlines. If you haven't seen that, now I am trying to be negative here on purpose to get the click because all the other YouTubers have very negative stuff and they get the clicks. I have not mastered this yet, but it's important to know that bottom line is things are going back to normal. That's what this whole thing is about, right? Is that vehicle shipments are down 50%. Yeah, they're down to, there's a lot of inventory out there, so stop making them, right? Winnebago had a big decline. Yeah, probably not surprising because they're not shipping many. I'm happy to say, though, that the vans have been pretty well insulated. Prices are pretty up there still, but it's the best performing segment in the RV industry other than a park model, which somebody probably bought some property because they like being out in the woods, bought a park model, parking it. And then Indiana officials saying getting battery plant jobs filled, not a problem. Here's our song of the week. This is an old one because it's on a record player. You young people will recognize record players because they're kind of hot right now. CDs? What are those? This is the song of the week. Cattle Call by Eddie Arnold. Some of you will know this. Some of you will love it. Most of you will hate it. But if you haven't played this in a while, if not ever, it was recorded in 1944. It's considered one of the top Western songs of all time. It charted for Eddie Arnold in 1955. It was on the charts for 26 weeks, and on one of those weeks was number one, but it was on the charts for nearly a half a year, which is pretty amazing. So Cattle Call, it's a yodeling song. So if you're in a bad mood, play that song and see if it doesn't cheer you up or piss you off even more. I'm not sure which, but okay, let's see. I think that's it for tonight. Let me just look through here real quick. Guess that's good on that. Let's just look for a few more questions here. Maria, let's see. Allison is going to bring Skies and Inspiration. Thank you. Appreciate that. I'm going to bring him some North Carolina beer to Vantopia. Better yet, yes, but storage easier, and bourbon is doesn't require a refrigerator. So bring North Carolina bourbon. That would be better. We put all the bourbon out and we all share it together. It's amazing. Maria, let's see. Donald, new to your channel. Thanks for the Embassy RV and destination videos. My wife and I, congratulations. Sleep in our Prius. Oh my gosh, wait till you get into your Embassy or a van in general, right? Not free yet to travel leisurely. Congrats to being in a Prius. I've seen quite a few car campers lately. Even they pull into a campground, they put up a tent for a night, they take it down in the morning, and they scamper off. You are way stronger than I am. Maria, you must have figured out what that was. I appreciate it. Thank you, Maria. We'll end on a happy note. Everybody have a sip. That was so delicious. Even warm. Hit the thumbs up button. Super Stickers, Roads of Life. There's Generous George right there. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. He's going to be a great guest. He's got an amazing story to show. Yeah, Silver Freedoms was saying, I was pretty sure about that, but wasn't 100%. Great song, says Bill. It's a really good one. So when the show ends tonight, I'm going to wrap all this up, put it in my van. I'm actually walking 1 mile. There's the only kind of brew pub in town. I need to support them because it's like the only thing in town. So they got pizza and beer, carbs, right? Time of day. But I'm walking a mile there and a mile back, so we'll offset a little of that. So that's what I'm doing tonight. I'm going to be listening to Cattle Call on the way. So, all right, with that, let's give a thumb up for everybody's participation tonight. We had a big crowd here tonight. This is so great. Just want to thank each and every one of you. I'm just sharing the change that many of you have helped me make, and I can't tell you what a difference it makes. And I've never been more excited, more happy. And I want the happiness for you, whether you're still shopping for a van or you're trying to figure this out. You're in your van. Where's your next trip? If you want to join the Patreon thing, go to my website or go to patreon.com/GoSmallLiveLarge. We'd love to expand that family so you can get really in-depth, really intimate, do deep dives on van questions. And yeah, it's 10 or, well, for the Patreon Zoom, it's $20 a month. Hang in there for a couple months, learn what you, and then go away. There's no commits. It's just to help us be better friends, better RVers. So I'm making minimum wage, which is what it is. So thank you very much, everybody. We'll see you premiere tomorrow morning, 9:10 Central, van tour and Embassy RV from owner Tom, and then we'll see you on Sunday morning as well. And until then, well, there's always next Wednesday. What's up Wednesday? Journey on.